What happens when an innocent target turns the tables with nothing but grace and composure? One quiet moment from Barron Trump stunned an entire room and left the world talking. Before we dive deeper into this shocking story, comment below where you're watching from today. And if you value stories about resilience and standing up for what's right, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more heartfelt narratives. The Fairmont Grand Hotel shimmered under the golden glow of chandeliers. The ballroom, dressed in ivory and gold, buzzed with quiet conversation as elegantly dressed guests sipped champagne and exchanged pleasantries. It was the annual charity gala, an evening meant to celebrate generosity and goodwill, but no one anticipated the moment that would overshadow everything else. Among the crowd sat Barron Trump. At 18, he stood taller than most, his calm demeanor making him seem older than his years. Seated quietly in the back corner, he wasn't there to stand out, just to observe, learn, and enjoy an evening of philanthropy. The evening unfolded predictably. A string quartet playing softly, servers gliding through the room with silver trays of hors d'oeuvres. Laughter rippled, glasses clinked, and the hum of polite society filled the air. Then, the keynote speaker was announced. The journalist, a well-known figure in liberal media circles, was renowned for sharp wit and unapologetic commentary. Their articles often danced on the edge of controversy, and tonight they promised a speech that would challenge perspectives and spark thought. As they took the stage, applause filled the room. The first few minutes were light-hearted, jokes about the city's traffic, anecdotes from past galas. The audience chuckled, the mood remained warm. But then the tone shifted. The journalist moved from general cultural commentary to pointed critiques. Each jab drew mixed reactions. Some laughed, others exchanged uneasy glances. Then the target changed. And of course, the journalist quipped, pausing for dramatic effect, we can't forget his most overlooked legacy, the next generation. I mean, let's talk about Barron. The room stilled. Heads turned toward Barron, who sat motionless, his face an unreadable mask. The journalist continued, voice laced with mockery. Imagine growing up in a golden tower, marble floors, private elevators, while your dad tweets about covfefe. That must build character, right? Nervous chuckles fluttered through the crowd, thin, uneasy. Most didn't find it funny. They found it uncomfortable. The spotlight, unasked for and unwelcome, now rested squarely on Barron Trump. But Barron? He didn't flinch. His calm, composed expression didn't change. He sat perfectly still, hands resting lightly on the table. The journalist, expecting laughter or an awkward shrug, faltered, confidence wavering as the silence stretched. Finally, Barron moved. Slowly, deliberately, he pushed back his chair. The soft scrape of the legs against the polished floor was the only sound in the room. Rising to his full height, he adjusted his suit jacket, shoulders squared, gaze steady. The journalist froze, smile faltering. The crowd, wide-eyed and silent, watched as Barron stepped forward, each movement measured, deliberate. Reaching the edge of the stage, he paused. The journalist, now visibly uncomfortable, gripped the podium tighter. And then Barron spoke. "Thank you for your insight," he began, voice calm but firm. The choice of words caught everyone off guard. There was no anger, no sarcasm, only quiet control. "I've grown up watching people make assumptions about me, my family, and my life," he continued, eyes fixed on the journalist. "It's almost become a game, filling in gaps when you don't know the full story. And I get it, we're public figures, it comes with the territory." The journalist, moments ago commanding the room, now stood silent, the microphone forgotten. But there's something often overlooked, Barron added, voice steady. Behind every headline, behind every punchline, there's a human being. Someone with their own struggles, dreams, and story. You might think you know me because of my last name, but you don't. Not really. The room held its breath. What I've learned, Barron said, is that respect shouldn't be earned. It should be given freely, especially when you don't know someone's story. A ripple of murmurs ran through the crowd. Admiration, discomfort, reflection. The journalist's bravado had evaporated, replaced by a forced smile. Barron wasn't done. He turned slightly, addressing the entire room. We live in a time when it's easy to tear each other down, he said. Words have power. They can hurt or they can heal. They can divide or they can unite. And I think we could all use a little more of the latter. The room sat spellbound, captivated not by anger or retaliation, but by quiet conviction. Finally, Barron took a step back, gaze locking once more with the journalist. I hope this gives you something to think about, he said softly. No malice, only quiet strength. Without another word, he turned and walked back to his seat. The soft clicks of his shoes on the polished floor were the only sound until... applause. It started hesitantly, a single clap from the front, but spread like wildfire. Within moments, the entire ballroom stood, erupting into a standing ovation. Some clapped out of admiration, others out of redemption. A collective acknowledgement that the moment belonged not to the journalist, but to the young man who had faced mockery and responded with dignity. The journalist, still at the podium, attempted a smile, but it was clear. The moment had slipped from their grasp. Barron, back at his table, didn't acknowledge the applause, only offering a polite nod to those around him. It wasn't shyness. It was assurance. He had said what needed to be said, nothing more. Within hours, snippets of the moment flooded social media. TikTok clips, Instagram stories, and tweets captured the essence of the night. Barron Trump just schooled an entire room on class and respect. No matter what you think of his family, this young man gave us all something to think about. News outlets picked up the story the next morning. Some praised Barron for his maturity, calling it a defining moment for someone who had lived under relentless scrutiny. Others debated the ethics of the journalist's remarks, questioning whether public figures, especially young ones, should ever be fair game. But for Barron, the media frenzy meant nothing. He returned to his daily life with the same quiet dignity that had defined his response that night. Yet the lesson lingered. A reminder that in an age dominated by outrage and instant reactions, grace still held power. If this story inspired you, share it with someone who believes in the power of dignity and respect. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more powerful stories that remind us why standing tall matters, even when the world tries to pull you down.